Man, welcome back to the Fake Stuff Podcast, brought to you by The Crew, which is my people. So shout out to everybody out there. Listen, man, we dropping another episode for your ass tonight. Just me and the Craft Man, Pack Fan over here. Craft Man, what's going on, big dog?
I'm just sitting out here Friday night having a good time talking some fantasy with you, and I'm just ready to get into it. One thing that I'm really depressed about that I can't get over is Craig. We formed a bond with Craig for a while there, the Craig the Bear, and now we got the Duck. So I got to get used to all that.
Yeah, man. If you don't know what we're talking about, me and Crabman, we was recording on the Discord for a lot of years. Me, Swizzy, and Crabman, or a couple years, and you know, Craig was always there to catch what we were saying. You know what I mean? So
he did. He was. What do they call him when you go to court and stenographer? Yeah, he was the podcast stenographer for our team, and I miss him dearly.
Yep. I mean, we don't have to push him aside forever though, because hopefully when we get that Discord popping like we wanted to, maybe we'll just drop episodes just for the people on our Discord. So maybe Craig will be around then. So join the Discord, join it. I'm trying to get it rolling. I'll be on there talking to myself. 22 members so far, but hey, join it. Let's get it rolling. So we talk. I mean, this is more. What did we just talk about? Our last episode was this past season. We do redraft, we do dynasty, we do gambling. Gambling's really our big thing. If you really want to talk money, all sports too, man. I gamble on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I gamble on the fights. I gamble on football. I've been doing some NBA lately. Hey, I hit on a hockey one the other day because there was a promo. Let's go. So I'm just saying, we do a lot of stuff here. We do a lot of stuff here at the Fake Stuff Podcast. And hopefully we're going to bring some college football to the mix. We'll see. Maybe some UFC, but mainly redraft, dynasty, gambling. That's what you get here at the Fake Stuff Podcast. Shout out to Craft Man's dogs out there. Go ahead, Craft Man, handle it. I'll talk to these people real quick. But real quick, check us out on YouTube. Our YouTube is popping. We really just started it. We've been doing a podcast for a couple years. YouTube, we got it rolling. Come join us on YouTube. Come check out our shorts. Come check out our videos. Go hit the bell notification up there. Add the podcast on the podcast format. 5-star review if you're on Apple or Spotify or anything like that. It all helps, man. Every view, every 5-star, that's what we all, what do I say? We don't take it for granted. That's how I say. We just thank you for every download over these past couple of years, everybody who's listening. But tonight, we're going to talk about this. Hell, what year are we in? 2025? We're going to talk about the 2024 rookie class one last time, Crab Man. As a group, we're sitting here looking at a super flex. You know, when we talk, most of the time, we're talking super flex, tight end premium. You can choose between PPR and half PPR. We play PPR. For some reason, I play PPR in Dynasty and half PPR in redraft, and I like it. I like that's the way it works out. So.
Yeah, I do too. And anytime I want to bring up a stat to make a player look worse or better, I go for PPR or half PPR to try to prove my points. So, but with the dogs, I try to give them a chance to hang out with me in the garage, and a bird flapped its wings one time outside, and they were just like, I want to kill everything that's out there. So, had to let them back inside. I gave them a chance. It didn't work, so they're back in the house.
We try to do live episodes to have an audience. You know what I mean?
I just wanted them to hang out with me for just a minute. I mean, they can't even do that. They're eating wrapping paper from Christmas. Like, I can't have them outside for 2 seconds.
Oh man, living that pet life. I'm just like my dad now, man. Get these pets out of my face. Like,
you ain't got no pets.
Man, I was all for it. Man, my sister, she stays with us over there. She got a couple cats. I'm like, get these cats away from me, man. I grew up. I had a cat. I mean, dogs around, but I mean, come on, man. I got a baby now. Yeah. I don't want these animals.
I get that completely because mine are terrible. They're the worst.
But shoot, man, here we are, man. Let's go. Last year it was pretty standard. Caleb Williams, 101, and
Wasted pick.
yeah, and a lot of people. It was really so many times I've seen it was. I mean, there was a debate between Caleb Williams, 101, and Marv. Jaden Daniels really wasn't even in the mix like that. So that's why that's gonna be my first question for you, Kraft man. I'm looking at our rookie draft from last year with a bunch of heavy hitters. Caleb Williams, Marv, Malik Nabers, then Jaden Daniels. What do you think about that, Kraft man?
I mean, obviously, looking back, we're gonna hate on the picks, but at the time, it seemed like the right thing to do. Marvin Harrison was just like the guy, and Caleb Williams. We didn't really think the QB class was that good. That was the problem. Like Jaden Daniels, he played with Arizona State. He was okay, and then he went to LSU and just blew up. But one thing that we've said over and over again, coming back to this year, is we got to start believing in these quarterbacks that had a lot of college snaps. Jaden Daniels,
Preach.
Bo Nix, got to start believing in these guys. And damn, Jaden Daniels is just like, there is nothing I could say wrong about what he's done this season as far as pocket presence, arm strength, rushing ability. There's nothing I can really pick apart to say that, like, for example, CJ Stroud had a fall off sophomore year. I don't think that's going to happen with Jaden. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think more of the fall off from the year to year is really with these pocket passers. And Jaden Daniels, while he does throw a good ball and he sits in the pocket and throws good, he's got that rushing ability, but he's also not like Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not running like that. But yeah, I'm with you. The part that you said that, and this, because we're really about to start diving into rookies here, probably within after football season and maybe a couple weeks later. We're going to really dive into these rookies. And the number one thing that I'm going to look at with these quarterbacks is how many reps. How many years did you stay in college? Because it used to be a bad thing that these guys were staying in college. Like, man, wow, he couldn't come after his sophomore year, yada, yada, yada. Why did he have to go back, yada, yada? Now it's like, man, dude, give me these quarterbacks that have been there 5 years. Now, I know, like the quarterback from Miami this year, Cam Ward. I feel like he's going to have to – I'm going to take a better look at Cam Ward than I would maybe than I did Jaden Daniels last season. You know what I'm saying? Where I was like, Jaden Daniels, he throws a good deep ball, yada, yada. Now when I evaluate Cam Ward, which I don't know too much about, so I'm not sitting here saying he's good or bad or not, but he's been in the league a long time. I'm going to take that. That's going to be up here in my noggin. You know what I'm saying? When I'm ranking these players.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden Daniels, Bowden, and I think it's funny we're talking about we didn't think the quarterback class was that good. Man, this quarterback class, and I think it's going to be top-notch pretty good is what I think.
Yeah, it might be a pretty decent class, but I mean, we mentioned the college reps, and that's probably number one on the list come next year. But number two is just pocket presence.
Yeah.
And that's what I've seen out of Jaden Daniels that's most impressive is just you got these quarterbacks that have speed and can get out of the pocket, but they always roll out right or roll out mostly to the right because they're right-handed quarterbacks. And they roll out backwards. I mean, they're losing yards as they're rolling out. You want the guys that will step up in the pocket and take off vertical down the field. And Jaden's one of them. Like Will Levis was the opposite of that. He couldn't sense like the biggest motherfucker
coming in front of his face.
Coming in front of his face. And we seen how that's panned out. It's panned out perfectly over the first couple of years. It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Like nothing has changed. He just keeps taking lick after lick. So that's probably one of the main things I'll look at. And when going back to Caleb Williams and his rookie tape was he had all the time in the world with USC. Like if you look at his highlight tape, it's like this guy holds on the ball forever and he can make plays happen off script. But that shit doesn't work in the NFL. You can't – and I still think Caleb Williams can work in the NFL, but I'm saying coming into the league, you want to see precision, you want to see timing, you want to see the ball out of their hands quick, making quick decisions. So that's one thing I'll be looking for next year. And Jaden definitely got it.
I guess the big question is does the draft order change today? I figure I know what you're going to say, but I think I'm actually going to agree. If we were redoing it today, does Jaden Daniels get picked over Caleb Williams today, knowing what we know now?
Yeah, for sure. I played in 2 Dynasty championships this year. I had to face Jaden Daniels in both of them. He was one of the main reasons that the other team was there.
Right. I agree. I mean, I'm with you, and I usually don't want to come in after 1 year and just start overreacting. And I would still take Caleb Williams too. And I'm not. I mean, hell, me and you ain't been the biggest Caleb Williams fans. You know what I'm saying? But I would definitely take Jaden Daniels number uno. And in a single quarterback league, I did take Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. So what we're saying ain't crazy or far off. And overreaction after 1 year, we was already kind of leaning that way somewhat anyways. Not to mention Caleb Williams with the Bears. He's in Chicago. Like,
yeah, I ain't going to get off on that tangent. I've already been there so many damn times. So we all know how I feel about the Bears.
And I agree. I mean, when you go to these organizations, you want them to be buttoned up and stuff. But Washington, I mean, I didn't really think they've never been buttoned up as long as I've lived. But you bring Dan Quinn in, and, you know, I'm a Falcons fan. So, like, I do like Dan Quinn. I thought Dan Quinn was a fine coach. His time management was pathetic. That's why he ain't got a job no more. But not that our coach now is doing any better with all that bullshit he doing out there. But anyway.
It's really Cliff Kingsbury, though. That's the weird part, is Cliff Kingsbury has been terrible. I mean.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have is, like, how did Cliff Kingsbury end up being a good coach just all of a sudden, offensive coordinator?
Well, I just think, like, he can have your quarterback put together a good fantasy season, because I mean, he was doing it with Kyler too, but it wasn't like they out there winning ball games and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess basically what we should say is Kingsbury's he's an offensive coordinator. That man shouldn't be going and getting head coaching jobs. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even want that style of coach as my coach. Not to say that I ain't hating on the man. He's living his best life, doing his thing, but it's like, if I'm an organization, that ain't the kind of coach that I want running my. I mean, but I'd rather have you ain't going to agree with this, but give me Mike McCarthy over somebody like that, fat ass with beers and wings. Like, hey, give me that over some hot shot pretty boy. Yeah, give me something like that. Like, give me a little grit, grimy. Don't give me that pretty boy shit. But anyways,
I have to mention this while we're talking about just grimy. God bless Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
I love that man. I love that man so much, even though they're in the division. He pretty much won me the championship in Doo-Doo Dynasty because he didn't have to play the players. He didn't have to play Detroit's players. But
hey,
that's
Dan
just
Campbell,
one man going for it on 4th down, getting Jared Goff more touchdowns. Like, this man is just he's a man incredible, dude.
A man of the people, is he not? I mean, but him, Campbell in Detroit is like the perfect example of a shitty organization my whole motherfucking life.
No shit.
And you button it up. You button it up. You get the right guy in there. Well, maybe that's what's happening in Washington. You got the right quarterback in there. You might have the right coach in there who this is his second time in there. He learned from his mistakes. Dan Quinn's a good coach. There ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah, look what happened to Dallas's defense when he left.
The whole fucking thing fell apart. I mean, I know Dak went down, but still.
Yeah. I mean, he's a defensive coach, but Washington, before the season, I was thinking they might be like a historically bad defense with the personnel that they had. And, I mean, they're not the best defense, but they're comparable. So he's definitely a good head coach.
Yeah.
No doubt
at least a solid, stable coach where I ain't worried about Jaden Daniels for the future. But like we was talking about, Marvin Harrison went 2, Malik Nabers went 3 in this league. So my thing is, does that change a little bit? I mean, are we overreacting on Marv? Like, would we still take him up there real high, or are we going to drop him a little lower now that we've seen 1 year? I hate to overreact. I would take Brian Thomas Jr. over Marv, and maybe even Malik Nabers, man. I don't want to be that guy.
I would definitely take Nabers, and I would take both of them over Marvin.
So
Marv.
So I don't want to overreact, but rank them. Just rank those three right there, real quick.
I would have to say Brian Thomas, and then Brian Thomas because of Trevor Lawrence, not because he's more talented than Malik Nabers. I think Malik Nabers is the most talented of the three. But what's the QB situation in New York going forward? So Brian Thomas, Malik Nabers, Marvin Harrison. Lad McConkey got to be mentioned.
Yeah. I'd still take Marv over Lad, though.
It's closer than anybody would have expected.
Way closer. It's way closer. But if I start thinking about dropping Marv that low, then I really feel like I'm overreacting. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still in a good situation. He still could pop off next year. So I don't want to be too prisoner of the moment, even though he had a tough rookie year. So basically,
it's kind of like the chicken or egg situation with drafting receivers. Not chicken or egg. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but drafting receivers. I'm trying to get it out here. Drafting receivers that early isn't as set in stone as drafting running backs that early in your rookie drafts. If a top end running backs like Bijan Robinson goes to a good situation, it's most likely going to work. But with receivers, sometimes you have to pump the brakes a little bit, and it might not end up being the best situation that you thought it was going to be.
Agreed. So basically, the next question is are you taking Caleb? Like, let's take Jaden Daniels. Let's just say he's off the board. The 101's gone. Now, are we taking any of these wide receivers over Caleb Williams? That's the question. And Superflex.
I would take all of them. I mean,
every one of them.
Well, I would take Brian Thomas and Malik Nabers. Them two over Caleb. I don't think I would go with Marv right now. I'd still leave it as is with Caleb. I think Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. I think he's a good talent. It's just, are they gonna are they gonna turn it around in Chicago? It doesn't normally happen, but I mean,
yeah. I'll put it. And for those of you who haven't been listening along, like, we're not hating on Caleb Williams, but we already wasn't the biggest on Caleb Williams. You know, I don't think me and Craftman come in here and buy into generational talent speak any more than anybody else should, because I've seen about 5-6 generational talents in my life, and I'm basically in one generation. So I'm just wondering how there's so many of these motherfucking generational talents. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Jamar Chase is one of them. I mean,
yeah. We just had so many.
Bijan was definitely one of them.
Yes, 1,000%.
And he should be. When you watch Bijan play, it's like, holy shit.
Agreed.
100%. It's incredible.
Next, Rome Odunze. I'm the one to talk about who drafted Rome Odunze. I've been saying I always like Rome Odunze from the jump, because talent-wise, I definitely have him up there with Malik Nabers and all them. So my thing is with Rome Odunze is situation, man. It's situation at this point, because I'm sitting here saying, I've said it for 2 episodes. I've said it on a stream. The best buy low in Dynasty right now is Rome Odunze, because I think Rome Odunze got a lot of talent, and he's matched up with a quarterback that's got a lot of talent. But let's just see what Chicago can do. That's the only question. I mean, Rome Odunze was the wide receiver 40-something this year. Man, if you can't buy low on that, then, I mean, I don't know. So
he was getting drafted a little bit ahead of that. He was like wide receiver 30-something. So, I mean,
yeah,
he didn't kill you, but it just wasn't one of them guys that you drafted that you were expecting a breakout of that broke out. I mean, he had a couple good games throughout the season. I think Rome Odunze is pretty damn talented. Like, what is the wide receiver room going to look like? Is Keenan Allen coming back? Shit, we don't know. DJ Moore is definitely going to be there. He got signed to a big deal. So it's really just going to depend on what the coaching staff looks like in Chicago. And, like, and then they play in a tough-ass division. I mean, you got 3 teams that going to win probably 12 games or more.
I agree. But I guess the question is now, though, is Rome Odunze, are we overreacting on him? I know you'll put Ladd over Rome Odunze, but is there any other wide receivers over Rome at this point?
No, I'm still with you that I think Rome Odunze could be good. I just think Ladd could jump ahead of him. I mean, Xavier Worthy's a close second. The usage for Xavier Worthy in the second half of this year has really got me excited about what he can be compared to how he was getting used at the start. But you got Rashee Rice coming back next year. I don't know what Marquise Brown's situation is. I think he got signed to a 1-year deal and missed pretty much the whole year. But watching the last game of the Chiefs, and we'll see how it goes along in the playoffs, Hollywood looked like the best receiver on the team.
Which is crazy.
As of right now. Like, if you're gonna watch the NFL playoffs, you know how they're gonna go throughout the year, I think Hollywood's gonna be their main guy.
It does seem that way. I agree. We'll move on to the next one because this is where we got some conversation, because I know I drafted Rome Odunze, but if I could take it back, I really would pass up on Rome Odunze because Brock Bowers goes right after Rome Odunze. And if Chris didn't come shout out to C Swizzy, he ain't on this episode, but if his ass didn't get up in the first round of that rookie draft and start going in there and fucking up my whole damn game plan, I'd have Brock Bowers on my team right now.
He would too, because he traded his ass.
Yep, traded him, man. I can't even remember for what, but I'll say this, though. Going into the year, dead wrong about Brock Bowers. Well, I was saying Brock Bowers is great. I mean, easily the best tight end I've seen come out of college. But this man went to the Raiders, and that shit turned me off big time. But I've got to give Antonio Pierce credit and whoever was playing quarterback for him, whichever was starting, at least they're smart enough to acknowledge that Brock Bowers is the man, and they need to get that man the ball a lot. And Brock Bowers is the tight end dynasty one today. I don't even think it's really a debate. I mean, you could say Laporta. There's really a debate between like two. Yeah, McBride and Laporta. There's like a little debate with them if you want to not overreact on Laporta, but it's Brock Bowers, and then there's a gap, in my opinion. So Brock Bowers should have definitely gone in your tight end premium leagues. That dude should have definitely gone. I mean, I don't 102. Even fucking know. Yeah, I mean, fuck.
The 101, you might not even lost out if you drafted him with the first pick over Caleb.
Agreed. It's just, I don't know. In these tight end premium leagues, man, these tight ends have so much value if they can ball out like that. So this man brought Bowers. He was underdrafted this year or in rookie drafts.
That's another guy in championships that I seen. It was just, I played him twice in Dynasty League, and I play in 5 leagues. So in 4 of the 5 leagues, Brock Bowers was in the championship game in redraft and Dynasty. So he was just
carrying.
He just carried your ass all season long.
And if you got that tight end spot giving you 20 or giving you just a lot of points, and then these tight end premium leagues giving you just God knows what points.
Numbers. He didn't even score that many touchdowns. He only scored like 4 or 5 touchdowns all season.
So basically, I mean, when we come into these rookie drafts, I mean, let's identify some tight ends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're all going to do some Brock Bowers numbers, but you got to take the tight end position a little serious. But Brock Bowers is that man. So I just wanted to say that I was dead wrong on Brock Bowers. And if we were redrafting, it's like you said, Kraft. I mean, this dude's going way up there, bro. I mean,
yeah,
you're right. He's probably going. I mean, what is wrong with saying we would go Jada Daniels and then Brock Bowers 101, 102? I don't think there's really anything wrong with that.
No,
we're going to clip that part out and put that on motherfucking shorts. You know what I'm saying, man? Check us out on Twitter. You're going to hear that one.
Brock motherfucking Bowers, Georgia boy.
Man, go Dogs, baby. Let's move on to the
How did that feel, Matt? How did that feel?
Hey, I always say
Did it feel right?
I mean, I'm gonna be real. If you've known me for 30 years, y'all probably seen me say "Go Dogs" a bunch of times, but most of the time I'm doing it like this: "Go Dogs."
It's all sarcastic.
Yeah, but hey, he's the best. I mean, him and fucking Lad McConkey had a hell of a year. We'll just move on to Lad real quick. I mean, we don't have to say too much about Lad McConkey because Lad McConkey is definitely a show favorite on this one. Not necessarily for me, but I never really hated on him. But I definitely wasn't as high on him as the Kraft Man and Noah Dick Blower. Shout out to Noah Dick Blower, Jeffrey. I mean, that was a home run pick. And then in that one league where I was like, damn, that motherfucker Kraft's crazy. Taking Lad McConkey way up there. Took him over Rome Odunze. Man, that was a good-ass pick, Kraft Man.
And traded him.
You did?
Yeah, but it was for JSN, so it's about –
yeah, it ain't all bad.
It's about, about the same.
Yeah, it ain't all bad. So, I mean, let's just look at it right here real quick. If we're doing – because Lad McConkey, he went at the 1-0. Hell, he was up there.
The 110? No, 109?
Yeah, nah, man.
No
he went
shit.
up there to
well, that's because Noah. That's because Noah picked him.
That's right. Hey, good pick by Noah Dick Blow. Shout out to him. He'll be on the pod soon too, I hope. And he'll be telling me to go pick on Lad McConkey.
He also picked Michael Penix in at 205, and y'all were giving him fucking hell. And I know for a fact, because I talk to him every day, all the trade offers that have come in for Michael Penix, probably the most traded for player in Dynasty right now.
Shoot, I'm going to be real. I don't know what you're talking about. Who was hating on that pick for Michael Penix, man? It wasn't me.
Well, remember when
I was
at the 205 and I traded.
Oh,
and he traded the 26 first for him. And everybody's like, "Oh, this dumbass traded a 26 first for a second round pick." It's like, well,
man, what? Man, come on, man. No, they blow. Come on, bro. That was dumb. That was crazy.
Is it? From what the trade offers he's getting now, I don't know.
I mean, listen, I've been saying that was a great pick. I was saying the whole time I would have taken Michael Penix. What did I say? Man, fuck it. I said I'll take him at the back of the first.
Hey,
y'all said I was crazy.
We say it all the time. Dynasty trades don't ever say
can't judge it.
You can't judge it. You cannot.
You can't do it, bro.
I traded a first round pick for Tank Dell. I mean, everybody was saying like that was crazy that I won that trade or whatever. When it was a Najee in the second involved, but it was like shit. I ain't got nothing with Tank Dell now. I would much rather have my first.
I think the problem was with the Penix when it went down in our league was it wasn't, or at least for me, it wasn't the Penix. It was just the trade and the value you got from a mid-second round pick. That was what was everybody was up in arms about.
Why did he drop that far?
Because he was in Atlanta and everybody was he-heing and ha-haing and laughing at the Falcons and laughing at Penix and all that stuff.
As we're looking at it now, Keon Coleman, Trey Benson, and Xavier Legette went over Michael Penix.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, heck, I think Bo Nix going into 2-2 in our league is fucking retarded.
He went at the 210 in my dynasty league.
That's crazy.
Ian got him at the 210.
I don't even want to hear another thing about Ian and his rookie drafts, man. I'm sick of that shit, man. This motherfucker killing it all the time.
He really does, man. It's ridiculous.
But I mean,
CJ Stroud from the previous year was the kryptonite to his team this year. So, I mean, it comes back and bites you in the ass sometimes when you brag about it too much.
Win some and you win some and you lose some. Kraft, but we're gonna keep going through the thing through the whatchamacallit, but I want to talk about all the quarterbacks real quick in a vacuum because we haven't said nothing about JJ McCarthy or Drake May. I mean, I wish we had motherfucking. I need to quit saying fucking all the time. I wish we had Chris on here to talk about Drake May because Chris needs to hear this. Crap, man. Drake May's going to be good. He ain't going to be that bust that what's his name was talking about. He's at least going to be solid enough to be in New England and be a starter and probably get another contract, in my opinion. I don't really see it just bottom falling out with Drake May. And I mean,
who is he throwing the ball to? I mean,
booty.
Yeah.
Literally.
Case, yeah. Straight up booty. And Drake May is performing the absolute best that he can with what he's got. I mean, he's not going to put up these Jaden Daniels type numbers with the supporting cast that he has. So, I mean,
and I get what Chris was saying about he's losing. It's like, man, the Patriots are going to lose, and they're probably going to lose next year too. But I'm just thinking, if you just look at Drake May, I was not a hater on Drake May. I was saying Drake May. Heck, I probably had Drake May ranked higher than Daniels at some points in time. Not at the end though. I'm about positive, but Drake May. I mean, we got to give the man credit. I get that. Heck, I don't even know who it was. Somebody we played with on Doo Dynasty calling him a loser. I mean, I don't care if you're a loser. We play fantasy football, you know what I'm saying? And I think Drake May is going to look pretty good. I think he was underdrafted a little bit.
Yeah, win at the 109.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I just keep screwing that up. Like the 107.
Yeah.
That's where he went. So I think he went accordingly
right.
to you.
To me, and I traded him like a dipshit.
Who'd you get for him?
Well, it was like Derek Carr in the first, but I was using those first to get Breece Hall, which still fucked me over, man. So it don't even matter. Bad trade. So yeah, I wasn't mad. I'm not mad at the trade itself, but with the next move, with what Breece Hall did, now I'm mad at that Drake May trade. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at least you got Breece Hall for next year with the Jets.
Yeah.
So you can hold on to that one.
But another quarterback that really has a questionable, or maybe a question mark is J.J. McCarthy now, because most of the time I think when teams would have somebody like Sam Darnold come in and do what he did, they would probably be done with their first round draft pick, J.J. McCarthy. But I think with J.J. McCarthy, what is going on? I'll just put it like this. The only time we saw J.J. McCarthy crap, man, was in that preseason game, and he went the fuck off. So It cracks me the fuck up that we're talking about this. Like, it's like, look what Sam Darnold was doing, but it's like, damn, your first round draft pick, the only time you saw that man play, he was doing that thing, you know what I mean? So what do we think about J.J. McCarthy value-wise, period? Or like, what are we doing? Are we selling? Or can you buy? I mean, do you just hold and just – you really got to hold, in my opinion. But what do you think, Kraft?
I mean, it's a really call your shot situation because you got to predict whether Sam Darnold's going to be there for next year in the foreseeable future. So I really think J.J. McCarthy's value has definitely it's plummeted. But I just say you got to hold him. I mean, you can't overreact and trade him because whatever the Minnesota quarterback's going to be is probably going to be successful. So I would just say hold him. I wouldn't trade him for the low, and I wouldn't buy him.
JJ's McCarthy's his value would be higher today if Sam Darnold doesn't go off. If that Vikings is 3 and whatever, they won 3 games all year, JJ McCarthy's value is way higher than it is today. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, he went at the 111 last year. Would you trade a late second for JJ McCarthy this year?
Yeah, no doubt. I would. I mean, but it's just because it's the positional thing. Like, I would definitely trade a second for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Especially with a first round pick.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and make the episode a little bit faster and just go ahead and explain why third-round rookie picks don't fucking matter. All right, I'm going to name some names. Jalen Wright, okay. So this is the third round of our rookie draft. Jalen Wright, Ben Sinnott, Ray Davis, Jermaine Burton, Malachi Corley, Estime, Brendan Rice, Javon Baker, McMillan.
Maybe. Hey, that's a good pick.
Maybe you got something out of McMillan. Devontae Walker, Jordan Travis, and Luke McCaffrey. So that's 1 out of 12. That's one out of 12. And then after that, The only relevant pick is Bucky Irvin
in the fourth.
in the
Man.
4th. What a
And now trying to trade him and get
and
JT.
you got Braylon Allen too in the 4th.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you. So
that's if you want to do the math, that's 3 out of 24.
I mean, everything has their I mean, I'm with you. They're like worthless, but it's also like they have a value.
It's a good.
For you to
it's like a good little shot.
Yeah,
if you got a player on your team that you ain't starting and isn't useful for your team, you can trade them for a 3rd or 4th, but they're really, they're a 5% chance of hitting.
Well, crap, man. What about our guy Bo Nix? I mean, I told you before the year started. I said I didn't think it was going to be all bad. I didn't think it was going to be all bad with Bo Nix. I mean, we was never a Bo Nix guy, but Bo Nix had a lot of motherfucking reps, so here we are. Doing
Bo
his
Nix
thing.
is good.
Bo Nix, he's good. He can run too, so he's good in fantasy too.
A top 12
he's
quarterback,
a good football player. Well, so this rookie class was quarterback wise was pretty fucking good. Wouldn't you say, crap? As far as a whole, me and you was wrong saying that we weren't that high on him. We really should have been real high on him.
Oh yeah, this rookie class was spectacular. Like the quarterback class was outstanding. I mean, you can't really ask for much better than like 4 solid starting quarterbacks in a single season. And that goes to what we're going to say about like quarterbacks later on in a different episode, which what we did a while back on the Cruise Dynasty podcast was quarterbacks drafted in the 2nd round or later. They don't pan out. It's very, very rarely that they pan out. But all these quarterbacks that panned out this year, 1st round picks.
All in the top. All of them guys are in the top 12. I think Bo Nix was the lowest drafted one out of all of them.
Yeah. You only get a couple like in the past like 5 years. The only ones that have been drafted in the 2nd round or later are like Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And Derek Carr, I think. That's like the only quarterbacks that are fantasy relevant that got drafted after the 1st round. So if a quarterback gets drafted in the 1st round in your rookie drafts, probably pay attention.
1,000%. 1,000%. Let's just take a little shift, at least one more shift. These running backs, and really the main two, Trey Benson and Jonathan Brooks. And Brooks, he just tore his ACL again, so I know that ain't looking too good. But Trey Benson, he's still healthy. But James Conner just signed a 2-year deal, with like a 3rd year option maybe. So what's the value on these running backs right here? Because as far as Jonathan Brooks goes, plummets. I feel like his value's got to plummet. He had the capital and everything, but he came in with an ACL injury or at least something. And now he done did it again and got hurt again. And they done signed Chuba to like a 3-year deal or whatever. So we done with these running backs, Kraft man? Move on, get ready for the next year? Or?
I mean, this was supposed to be a bad running back class, and it panned out to be a bad running back class. I mean, you have a high-value handcuffs is the best you're going to get. I mean, Bucky was a diamond in the rough. Yeah. I mean, you get them guys. Like the previous year, you got Chase Brown. You got Isaiah Pacheco. You get these guys every now and again, but it's so hard to damn predict that, you really do have to pay attention to what kind of class is coming out. I think this 2025 class is going to be stacked with running backs. So being in the late 1st might not be a bad deal if you're looking for running back help. But as far as like the teams that need running backs, there's not a whole lot of them. I mean, if freaking Genty goes to Dallas, then hell yeah. Something like that. But
yeah,
there's not a whole lot.
My brother, he's got a high rookie pick coming in this next round, and he was just talking about basically what me and you were talking about, the running backs, and I was just thinking about the spots, and I was like, the spots where you're really going to be paying attention to are like Dallas, LA
Raiders.
still, Raiders. I mean, there's a lot of places for these people who need running back. So, I mean, you're right. If somebody goes to Dallas, that's over with. I mean, Chargers too. I mean, I would definitely take a running back with good draft capital in LA. So, but they might run it back with Dobbins and do what they do. I mean, I ain't gonna question Jim Harbaugh. So
the Broncos, they could use running back.
Yep, because they're definitely, I don't know. Seems like Javonte, that experiment's over with. And he just really wasn't the same since he got hurt, you know. Crap, man. I mean, really, we've already talked about the diamonds in the rough and all that stuff. One more question. It's these wide receivers right here. Guys, like, which one of these is going to have a good year next year? Or which one steps up? The sophomore takes a step up, and we're looking at them way differently. I'm going to bring out names like Keon Coleman, Xavier Leggett, Ricky Pearsall, A.D. Mitchell. Any of those guys just popping off.
I mean, I do think that Debo's probably gone in San Fran. So I think Ricky Pearsall is a definite buy low where you can – I mean, the last game, in the very last game, he was a featured player in the offense. I think Ricky Pearsall could definitely be a good player. Jalen McMillan, obviously, he's been going off. So that's one of them guys. And keep an eye on Jermaine Burton if T. Higgins, leaves Cincinnati. But not a lot of these guys have shown a lot of promise. I think with Keon Coleman, he's pretty talented, but you got to watch out with Buffalo because they've been succeeding a lot with spreading the ball around. So I don't think they're really going to be trying to change it up like that.
I'll say Ray Davis, a little handcuff. Man, go ahead, take a piss, crap, man. I'll wrap this thing off real quick. But Ray Davis, I was going to say handcuff. We were talking about handcuffs. He's kind of one. As some people liked him. But
thank y'all for listening. Got to pee.
Hey, crap man's got to go take a piss. He's been drinking beer. I just want to thank everybody because I'm wrapping it up right here. I just want to thank everybody for listening to the Crew. Not the Fake Stuff podcast. We got a lot of big things. Please, man, that YouTube is popping. We've only been on it for like a couple weeks, but man, it's like, damn, I wish we was on YouTube the whole time. Check us out on all our podcast platforms, Spotify, anywhere you can get a podcast, man. Check us out and give us that 5-star review. Shoot, man, join the Discord. I'm trying to get us popping. I want to get a startup going, but listen, everybody, thank y'all for listening and join us again. But we